Welcome to The Explainer. Have you ever poured your heart and soul into starting a garden only to end up with sad, struggling plants and a seriously aching back? Well, today we're going to dig into raised bed gardening. It's a method that a lot of people swear by, promising to solve some of the biggest frustrations in the garden. But is it really the magic bullet it's made out to be? Let's figure out if it's the right choice for you.
Okay, let's be real for a second. Starting a garden can be tough. I mean, it seems like it should be simple, right? But sometimes it feels like you're in an uphill battle before you even plant a single seed. See if any of these common garden nightmares sound a little too familiar. So you go out there, you're full of optimism, you're ready to get your hands dirty, but your shovel just clangs off the ground. You're fighting with heavy, compacted clay soil that honestly feels more like you're trying to dig through a sidewalk.
Or hey, maybe you can actually dig. But all that constant bending over and kneeling leaves you feeling sore for days. Gardening is supposed to be relaxing, Not something that feels like a full-on punishment for your back and knees.
And then, just when you finally get something to grow, these uninvited dinner guests show up for an all-you-can-eat buffet. You've got gophers tunneling up from below, rabbits hopping in from the side. It's enough to make you want to just throw in the trowel and go to the farmer's market instead.
But what if there was a way to just bypass most of these problems right from the start? Well, that's exactly the promise of raised bed gardening. So in this explainer, we're going to cover what a raised bed really is. We'll talk about its biggest advantages, the potential drawbacks you need to know about, how to avoid the most common beginner mistakes, and then we'll get to our final verdict. All right, let's dig in.
Okay, first things first, let's get our definition straight. Because there's actually a lot of confusion out there about what a raised bed really is, and honestly, it's a lot simpler than you might think.
At its absolute core, a raised bed is just an area of soil that is physically higher than the ground around it. That's it. The box we always picture, whether it's made of wood or metal or stone, that's just the container. The real magic, the important part, is the elevated soil inside it.
Right, so the crucial takeaway here is this. Just slapping a wooden frame on the ground doesn't magically make it a raised bed. You have to fill it up so that the soil level inside is truly raised above the ground. That's the part that gives you all the amazing benefits we're about to talk about.
So, how does simply lifting the soil up a foot or two create such a game-changing advantage? Well, let's get into the biggest benefits you can expect. And honestly, the list of benefits is pretty darn impressive. We're talking about everything from getting perfect soil in an afternoon to saving your back, and yes, even creating a fortress to defend your precious veggies from pests. Let's break down the most important ones.
This is it. This is the #1 advantage, hands down. If your yard has terrible rocky ground or that heavy clay we talked about, or even soil you're worried might be contaminated, you get to skip years of hard labor trying to fix it. Instead, you just build your box and fill it with a perfect, fluffy, nutrient-rich soil mix from day one. It's like giving your plants a first-class ticket to a happy life.
Now, that beautiful, elevated, uncompacted soil has two other huge perks. First, water drains through it like a dream, which is absolutely critical for preventing root rot. And second, that loose soil warms up way faster in the spring. That often means you can get a jump on the growing season, sometimes weeks earlier than your neighbors who are planting in the cold, wet ground.
I want you to think of your raised bed as a fortress for your food. The physical walls can help deter pests like rabbits and slugs, but the real secret weapon is what you can put underneath it. By lining the bottom with something called hardware cloth before you add your soil, you can create a totally impenetrable barrier against those burrowing critters like gophers and voles. Problem solved.
But of course, no gardening method is absolutely perfect. While the advantages are massive, it's not all sunshine and perfect tomatoes. Raised beds do have a few downsides you really need to consider before you start buying materials.
So the main drawbacks really boil down to two things: a bigger upfront investment of time and money, and a little bit of extra ongoing maintenance. And once they're built and filled, they are not easy to move, so you better be sure you like where you put them.
Yeah, there's just no getting around the upfront cost. And here's the part that surprises a lot of people. While the materials for the frame and the time it takes to build it are definitely factors, the single biggest expense is very often the high-quality soil and compost you need to fill the thing. A standard 4x8 foot bed that's a foot deep needs a lot of soil, and that cost can add up fast.
Hey, remember that fantastic drainage we were just celebrating a minute ago? Well, there's a flip side. Because that water drains so well, and because the soil is exposed to the air on all sides, raised beds dry out much faster, especially in the heat of summer. You got to be prepared to water more often than you would for a regular in-ground garden. So, to just quickly summarize the key trade-offs here, you're basically swapping upfront money and a bit more time watering for instant, perfect soil and way better control over weeds and pests. For a lot of people, especially those with really bad soil, that's a trade they are more than happy to make.
Okay, so you've weighed the pros, you've weighed the cons, and you've decided to go for it. Excellent. Let's cover a few key first steps to help you avoid making the most common rookie mistakes out there. This right here is the golden rule of raised bed design. Please, never ever make your beds wider than 4 feet. Why? It's simple. The average person can comfortably reach about 2 feet into a garden bed. A 4-foot width means you can easily get to the center from either side without ever stepping on and compacting all that perfect fluffy soil you just paid for. Now let's talk about the fill. This part is critical. The biggest mistake people make is just shoveling their regular garden dirt into the bed. Don't do it. It'll just compact into a hard brick and completely ruin the drainage. You need to fill at least the top foot with a high-quality mix. Now, if you want a pro tip to save some money on deeper beds, look up a technique called hugelkultur. It basically involves filling the bottom of the bed with old logs and branches. As they decompose over the years, they act like a giant sponge, holding moisture and slowly releasing nutrients right where the plant roots can find them. It's a fantastic long-term strategy.
And here is another pro tip, learned the hard way by so many gardeners. It can be really tempting to use fresh grass clippings as a free filler material. Just don't. A thick layer of green clippings will compact down, turn into this slimy, oxygen-starved mess, and it will smell like an actual sewer for months. Trust me on this one. You have been warned.
Okay, so after weighing the pros of perfect soil and amazing pest control against the cons of cost and extra watering, we circle all the way back to our original question. Are raised beds some kind of revolutionary garden hack, or are they just a bunch of overhyped boxes? What's the final verdict? So here it is. Here's the final take. A raised bed is not a shortcut to gardening. You still have to do the work of planting and watering and weeding. But it is the ultimate shortcut to perfect soil. For anyone who's fighting against terrible clay, or an aching back, or those relentless gophers, it is a tool that can completely change the game. It removes the biggest, most frustrating barriers to success, and it can turn what was a chore into a truly enjoyable passion. So the real question isn't whether raised beds work. They do. The question is whether the problems they solve are the ones standing between you and the garden of your dreams.